On July 17th, 2020, Oliver Tree released his debut studio album, Ugly is Beautiful. And here's what I thought. Oliver Tree is an American singer-songwriter, producer, rapper, comedian, and filmmaker. He also looks like a living personification of a meme. I mean, just look at him. I first heard of him with his 2019 EP, Do You Feel Me? I love the goofy vibe while still maintaining a perfect mix of indie, alternative, and rap that, goes across the whole EP. Especially songs like Alien Boy and Introspective. They were fun and really like nothing I was listening to at the time. And it was inspiring to see someone around my age putting everything they've got into this one passion and, really creating this whole image for themselves, as goofy as it may be. A few more hype singles were released since then before announcing his full debut album, Ugly is Beautiful. And upon first look at the track list, I've kind of realized that a lot of these songs have already been released over the years, which kind of took me off guard, but I also get it because a lot of these songs are very strong. Just not as much new as I expected. But we'll talk more about those specific tracks as we break down the album track by track. Are you ready? Because I'm ready, let's do it. Track 1, Me, Myself, and I. The song starts off with Oliver's upfront vocals and like a pop driving drum beat. The sounds of indie and alternative and rap are very similar to something you might hear on a 21 Pilots or AWOL Nation album, but with Oliver's upfront vocals taking charge. Halfway through the chorus, the steady drum beat kind of drops and we're kind of thrown this like halftime dub kind of vibe. And it's great. It really captures the spontaneity of Oliver Tree. Lyrically, Oliver is really just having a conversation with himself. He needed help from himself at some points as he's having trouble really distinguishing what is him and who isn't him and all that blah. I kind of find the way the words are written a little confusing, but the angst and confusion that he emotionally puts onto this track really carries the song. And there's some pretty poignant lyrics across this thing. I mean, look at the pre-chorus. I'm still forgiven, no way. I've been the outcast, it feels great. He's just talking about how he is kind of this odd entity and he's really trying to embrace it. Again, the halftime kind of like dub flow in the choruses really make the song for me. Track 2, 1993. Heavy synth bass really drives this track. It's almost like an EDM track. Coming from the first track, it keeps the momentum of the album going, but kind of in a slightly different direction, being a little bit more industrial, but still dancey. 1993 is the year Oliver was born, and the song really takes a look at Oliver kind of making his way through life. He's making a name for himself, making him the star that he's always meant to be. Lil Ricky ZR3 has a verse that kind of segues into a trippy outro. His lyrics don't do tons for me, but he maintains a really aggressive kind of tone to his verse that really matches Oliver in terms of energy and I guess sound. Track 3, Cash Machine. The song starts off with a strumming guitar before the drum machine beat kind of kicks in. The song kind of stays like this until the chorus where the music kind of builds up and explodes into a fun mix of musical genres. Rock, pop, electronic rhythms. This song was first released in late 2019 and honestly didn't do tons for me on my first listen, but I will say it does fit very well as the third track on this album. It introduces an acoustic flair while commenting on people's obsession with the material. Oliver talks about how being rich and having fancy objects won't make you happy, especially with lines like, smile, show your golden teeth to cover up all your cavities. Track 4, Let Me Down. Almost has kind of like a pop punk vibe at the very start. The guitar is almost like strokey as Oliver is like yelling at the listener, please don't let me down. This kind of vibe continues into the chorus where again we hear that kind of halftime dub rhythm introduced. The song is from the perspective of Oliver Tree fans who are let down that Oliver Tree is pushing back his album. It's a short little song, clocking in at under 2 minutes, but it serves its purpose. Track 5, Miracle Man. Similar to Cash Machine, starting with an acoustic guitar before adding the drums. This is actually one of the songs that was featured on the Do You Feel Me EP, so I've had a little bit more time with this song. The verses kind of remind me of a 21 Pilots kind of vibe with Oliver rapping over like a melodic melody and all the kind of dubs and like samples that are all kind of mixed into the production. I love this song because I feel like it really captures Oliver's signature whine, especially in the "Your whole life I tried." The song is about Oliver not being enough for someone in a relationship, and nothing he does seems to be enough. Sorry, man. Track 6, Bury Me Alive. The song has a very Beastie Boys vibe to the verses, especially with like the DJ's scratchy production. Oliver also has a very Beastie Boys flow, rapping at a very high intensity. And the chorus really contrasts with this with a kind of ska, almost like reggae, up-strumming guitar. The song is about Oliver taking drugs at Burning Man, falling asleep, and then dreaming that he overdosed and died. The lyrics are full of panic anxieties about death coming. He talks about calling up Lucifer just to get a fix, and the fact that he's made all this money won't matter because he'll be dead. I love like the scratching at the end. It really brings the song together. Track 7, Alien Boy. Now this song was the song that got me into Oliver Tree. I love this song, but I do find it kind of funny that it's on this album, as this is like the third official release Oliver Tree has done with this song featured on it. I mean, it's a great song, and sure, you'd love to have it on your debut album, but also the song is like 2.5 years old. But the music, very spacey and kind of spaced out, maybe like keyboard notes kind of ring in the background as Oliver's upfront vocals describe him being an alien. The lyrics are so intriguing, and the listener is hanging on to every single word up until when the drums kind of kick in. Spacey effects kind of bring us up into the second chorus, where it explodes with bird chirp sounds and a groovy bass line and a great melodic hook. There's a reason why the song is probably included on this album and has also become so viral. I mean, look at some of the lyrics. I'll hunt you down like a Tyrannosaurus. My teeth are sharp like a great white shark. Let me taste that flesh, it's my favorite part. All this right before the drum beat kind of kicks in, and the listener is instantly sold on having a good time. Track 8. Joke's on You. Another straightforward rap from Oliver mixed in with, Indian alternative. Oliver's flow on this track is aggressive, and he really has his mouth over every single word. The song is a little darker in tone, especially coming after the light and goofy Alien Boy. The song is about how you shouldn't judge someone on their appearance. He tells people not to take themselves so seriously, and if anyone's gonna tell you that, it should be Oliver, because he's been dressing like this for years. Track 9, Again and Again. The verse that starts off the song kind of has like a familiar lullaby vibe to it. The something pushed me to the edge is the exact same musical interval as Somewhere Over the Rainbow, with the something going up like a full octave. I don't know, it's just one thing that stood out to me on first listen. I love the almost alternative rock vibe of the pre-chorus with the strumming guitar. Almost sounds like an Arctic Monkeys song. All before the chorus kicks in, which could easily be like any kind of pop indie song on the radio. The song has Oliver looking at all the negative things that might happen over and over in your life and, try to realize that you can't change them all overnight. Things take time to change, and the first thing really is to find the problem and address it. Some things get stuck in your head. That's in your head. Track 10, Waste My Time. Oliver is really exploring the whininess of his range. There's like a thumping rhythm and melody that has the song perpetually moving forward. It's a lot of fun. Be yourself. It's basically the vibe, Like, don't wait for other people, just live up your life. Oliver's not gonna wait, so yeah, live it up. It's a fun vibe, almost has some like Outcast, Hey Ya kind of vibes in the chorus. The post-chorus becomes this big epic sing-song about not waiting too long. All this before an orchestral outro. The song really took me places I didn't expect it to go. Track 11, Jerk. An electric guitar riff drives the song, and this song could really be like a traditional emo song from the early 2000s before the drums kind of kick in. But the emo vibes are definitely there. Look at some of the lyrics. Don't fret, I don't ever want to see you, and I never want to meet you again. Oliver's wearing his emotions on his sleeve, like any good emo song would have you. He never wants to see this jerk again. Track 12, Hurt. Another song that's been floating around since 2018. The song was also featured on the Do You Feel Me EP. The song is the perfect mix of indie, rap, and alternative that has defined Oliver Tree's sound. The song reflects on how Oliver hurt himself on a scooter accident when he was 18 and how getting signed to a scooter team changed his life. The fame made all of his friends turn away from him, and it hurt. The song hasn't really been particularly bad in my eyes, but I don't really love it by any means. Track 13, Introspective. The song definitely has like a more indie vibe. It was actually the opening track on the Do You Feel Me EP. It's almost like a sensitive side of Oliver that we don't always get to see. He's introspective, examining himself, wondering if he could ever change or control certain aspects of himself. It's more mellow and almost forces the listener to be introspective themselves. As the second last track on this album, I think it serves as like a nice breather before we go into the last track. Track 14, I'm Gone. The song is like an emotional roller coaster. Oliver is first remorseful that he left a relationship, but then he starts remembering the problems that came up as to why he left that relationship. And at the end, he realizes that the person he was in that relationship with was just selfish and wanted more from him that didn't seem fair. I really like the in the background of the chorus, almost like Weezer-esque. It's an emotional song overall and brings you really high in the choruses, but also pretty low in the verses. It feels like this huge emotional journey as we conclude the album. It feels a lot bigger, almost theatrical compared to the rest of the songs on the album. And I think it's a really great way to end his debut. And that's the album. When I first saw this track list, I was kind of annoyed that so many songs have already previously been released. But actually listening to the album all the way through, the album has a really nice flow to all the songs. And after my first listen, I don't think I would change out really any other song. Not even you, Alien Boy. But I swear to God, if you're on another one of Oliver Tree's releases, I'm gonna This album's really different from a lot of things I've heard this year, and it really stands out. And overall, I'd have to say I'd probably give this album a solid 8, as I'm looking forward to listening to this thing more and more and discovering more and more as I listen to it more and more. But what do you think? Do you like the same things I like? Did I miss something major on my first listen? Let me know in the comments below. And if you're down there, you might as well toss a like and subscribe, and I'll love you forever. And let's be real, if you've made it this far into the video, I already love you forever. And like always, until next time, peace.